Most of you have seen a crime scene, whether it was in a movie or a TV show, but have you ever stopped to wonder what techniques investigators are using that are not correct and what are incorrect? Well, during my presentation today, we're going to watch bits and pieces of a crime scene show from CSI Miami, and we're going to talk about the techniques that they do correctly and the ones that they use incorrectly. So I chose Under the Influence, which is Season 3, Episode 3 in CSI Miami. And some of the main points, since we're going to start later, I'm going to fill you in. The setting is in Miami, Florida. There's one victim and 3 suspects. The victim is a young woman, and the first suspect is a shoplifter. The second suspect is her boyfriend, and the third is the boyfriend's stalker. Introduction, like I said, the victim is a young woman. She seemed very on edge. She was nervous. She had just went shopping. She had lots of shopping bags. And she was like running through the sidewalk, like pushing, running into people to get to the bus stop. And once she got there, she was like right on the curb, like about to fall off, I guess you could say. And next thing you know, she was getting hit by the bus. So it leads you to believe, did she fall or was she pushed? So now we're going to go ahead and watch the scene, first scene.
Northbound lane shut down. PD's questioning everyone.
And what are they saying?
She appeared upset, pushed her way through the crowd towards the street, and then just went flying through the air.
The damage on the bus is front and center, so that takes timing.
Suicide?
I don't think so. You don't spend $1,000 on clothes that you're never going to wear.
And this next one finishes the scene, so.
You'd have a better chance charting what is broken on this girl. Poor baby. Both arms shattered. Torso twisted like a corkscrew.
Well, based on the points of impact, Alex, she landed at 7. We'll roll all the way to you. Eric.
Yeah, the Metro bus doesn't make scheduled stops here at the marketplace. He was going to Brickell Park doing 45 miles an hour.
It was more than enough.
Lieutenant, I'm Officer Wolf. I ascertained that there were no surveillance cameras at the scene, so I canvassed the witnesses to see if there was any camera video equipment I filmed it. A couple names, sir.
Thank you, Wolf. We'll take it from here.
It's thorough.
Yes, follow up, please.
Will do, Lieutenant.
Yes, ma'am.
Find an ID yet?
No, I didn't. Have you?
Marketplace security apprehended a shoplifter. Confiscated some DVDs. And this, a $500 wallet.
It's a woman's wallet. Our victim has expensive taste, doesn't she? Katrina Hannigan.
Bring him in.
By all means.
Okay, so in this scene, some of the good things that happened were you saw like the area was taped off and coned off, so like people weren't walking all over the evidence because then it would be contaminated and couldn't be used. And pedestrians weren't like around the scene. Also, the woman cop said that she blocked off the northbound lane, which that's a safety issues for the investigators. And also she said that the PD was questioning the witnesses. And then later one officer came up and said that he got pictures from one of the witnesses that might have something in the background or anything, which you'll see that later in the scene. And the man officer was just standing back and observing the entire scene, which that's the first thing that they come and do. And he noticed that how the windshield was broken on the bus was front and center, so it had to be timed the way or the hit on the bus would have been different. And the evidence was also numbered on the ground. If you saw, that's just to make sure the evidence is stays in one place and doesn't get like put into another case or anything. And the big thing was they were all wearing gloves. That's another contamination issue. And the bad things were like the pedestrians were still standing around. There's this thing, it's like there's an inner circle, and that's like the crime scene itself. And then there's an outer circle, and that's like where the witnesses are being questioned and like other like people are around that were involved in the crime. And then the outer circle is like where the pedestrians are allowed. If you notice, like in the background, there are pedestrians just walking behind the bus, and that's like too close to the crime scene. And now we're gonna go ahead and watch the next scene.
Well, Rachel, we could rule out suicide for a Metro bus victim.
What do we have then, Alex?
Fresh bruise square in her back. Perimortem. Could be from a hand.
So no hesitation, all fours.
Your hunch was right. It's a homicide.
Okay, what else?
Subcutaneous pictures show massive bruising on Miss Hannigan, older bruising. Hemoglobin had time to break down. Inner thighs, extremities, broken wrists. I think our girl was a victim long before that bus hit her. And look, a wedding ring.
But she does have a boyfriend. His name is Jay Seaver.
So now we know that we've already seen the first suspect, which was the shoplifter, and now like the boyfriend's coming into the picture, which is now the second suspect. And the good thing that was done here was an autopsy. That's obviously that needs to be done to find out the real cause of death. However, an autopsy takes 24 hours or more, so there's no way that this was done in the length of the show. So that obviously was sped up. And notice that she handed him pictures of the injuries on the body. So not only was evidence at the crime scene pictured and numbered, but it's going to be the same for like the injuries found on the body, like the bruise on her back and like other bruises everywhere else on her body. Just anything that could like help with the evidence.
Tyler, you get anything off that digital camera that the officer found at the scene?
Yeah, I copied all the shots onto the hard drive. These are not your grandparents' vacation pictures.
Miami Air, man, makes people do things they never do back home. Anything at the marketplace?
This looks like the curb out front.
The victim was behind the cameraman, so we're looking the wrong way. Did they ever turn around?
No, that's it.
Doesn't help us at all.
Maybe it does. I've got some software that can magnify their eyes.
Catch a reflection?
Yeah, and the tear fluid. If the eye is hydrated enough, makes a great mirror.
See what the couple's looking at. Let's do it. Get back to me when you get something. This is the vacation shot that gives us something to work with.
The tourist was taking a picture of this girl. So, enlarging the reflection in her eye. Slide the image over.
There's our victim. Upper right corner. Head's arched back. She was pushed from behind.
Can't see who's doing it, just a shoulder.
Oh, look at the shirt. That's the same color green as Claudia Sanders' work uniform. Look, I'm gonna check Katrina Hannigan's clothing for transfer. This is great, thanks.
Ran the HCG data blood test you asked for.
Katrina Hannigan was pregnant.
Hormone levels 90,000.
How far along?
7 to 8 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
I got it, H. I found limonene on the back of Katrina Hannigan's blouse, just under the right shoulder blade. It means Claudia Sanders was behind her on the curb. Definitely Claudia's murder.
You know what else, Eric? I don't think she acted alone.
So the good things that were done in that scene was obviously the technology that they used. That's going to come in handy, and like the evidence, the picture that they got from one of the witnesses. Although she wasn't in the background of the picture, they use the technology that they have to use from like the teardrop fluid that like has a reflection. Is what he was trying to explain. And when he went to get the chemical transfer off the clothes, that's something that they obviously would use. It's reliable, but the test results would not be back that fast either, like same as the autopsy. And same with like the pregnancy, like finding like in her blood that she was pregnant, that wouldn't be back right away either, so they obviously had to speed all that up too. So this is just an overview of what was done right and what was done wrong. So obviously I already stated all that. So now, who do you guys think was guilty out of the 3 suspects? Well, I guess I'll say, like suspect number 1, raise your hands. Suspect number 2. Okay. Suspect number 3, which was the stalker. It was a boyfriend stalker. Since you guys didn't get to watch it, I figured I would show you. Thank you.